Hello everyone, welcome to this week's CANrace feature where we're here from the Mississauga Fire Station 117 with one question for you.
Which driver wears two fire suits?
Larry Jackson.
We are here today to do a feature on Larry and his life as a race car driver and a firefighter, and we got to try on some equipment too. I think yours is the heaviest, Caitlin.
I am wearing the jacket and the air tank, and I have to say, it's really heavy. So no gym for me today, but I can't imagine anyone going in. He's wearing the pants and the boots.
Can't really see it, but...
And then obviously Bryce is wearing the helmet. So what does it take to wear all of this and to be a race car driver and a firefighter?
And as soon as we finished the interview portion too, Larry got called out in a call, so we had to follow him out there just as they were leaving, and we'll be able to time that as well. So that was cool timing that he had a call right in the middle of our feature too.
Yeah, that was very cool. We basically went chasing, couldn't find it. We saw a cop car, thinking, okay, this is not good. And we ended up finding them on a side street. Luckily, it was nothing too big, and it was all quick, and everyone was all good.
So let's head to that feature now.
So how'd you get involved in racing in the first place?
When I was 15 years old, I think my father bought us a car, and us being my two cousins and myself, and we went to Flamborough Speedway to run one of the endurance races. And 15 years old, you think you know everything, and we went out there for I think 200 laps, and I think we finished quite well actually. I can't remember exactly how we did, and it was awesome. We loved it, and we were good at it, and next thing you know, we bought street stocks and kind of moved up from the bottom divisions when we started at 15, and now I might be a little older than that now, but it's been many years.
Yeah, it might be.
Yes.
So you won a championship a couple years ago at Kawartha in the late models. What was that like?
A couple years ago. That was 10 years ago. Yes. It was great. One of my heroes growing up was this Junior Hanley, probably Canada's and majority of the state's best race car driver out there. He came on board for the 2007 and 8 year, I think, and he was amazing. The car ran flawlessly. It was bullet fast, and everything we did to the car just made it better. And he's like a magic man. He taught me everything, and it was great.
So now you've been racing in the Pinty series for the last couple of years. What do you like the most? What attracts you to that series in particular?
Like anything, you want to race with the best guys. And I know our car count's down a little bit this year, but there's probably 12 guys every week that could win the race, and there's nobody better in Ontario or in Canada that racing-wise right now other than those guys. I like the road courses. Road courses I'm like an oval guy, so road courses are challenging to me, and I think I'm getting it down. But one day I'll step up my program and get a spec motor, and we'll see how I do.
Is there a certain track you like the most?
Oval. My favorite oval track would be Kawartha Speedway, just because I've turned 1 million laps there, and I think I'm pretty decent there. Unfortunately, that's no longer. So, and then second course, I like the Toronto Indy, just because it's home for me, and the road courses are, I like to be challenged.
I think I was sitting in your cheering section for the Toronto Indy, so every time you went by, like, woo, great, so that works. So you've raced for CBRT now for a bit, and so you're a driver. Do you have any other roles with the team?
I do. I can do anything you need me to do. I can drive the tractor trailer if need be. I can change motors. I can weld chassis up. I can put front clips on. I can change springs. I can do setups. I try and talk to 1 million people and try and take all the information in and see what's true, what's not true, and put it towards cars and try and make the cars the best that we can. And, as you know, this series or racing in general is just challenging, and changing springs and shocks and doing all this oddball stuff makes, I like to be challenged, and it's fun.
So one time in NASCAR, Morgan Shepherd didn't actually hire a crew, and he went out and changed his tires because he didn't have any tire changer for the race. Went to the bathroom, came back, and did the race. Would you ever do that?
I would do that. I did that last year in Edmonton, actually. My crew disagreed with what I was saying on the radio, saying that I had a right front tire flat, and they thought it was a suspension failure. And I was not the primary car that weekend, and they were working on the other car, and at the halfway break, I got out and noticed that it was a right front flat tire. And we changed it and went back out. We were a few laps down, but I'm pretty sure we finished 10th or 11th.
Well, there you go. Is there a certain competitor that you raced against that maybe you think people should pay more attention to that's maybe kind of under the radar?
As in performing well?
Maybe well, and maybe people aren't talking about them because they're not like running for first or second every week.
I think we have a handful of underrated drivers. That we do have the best. Like, up and coming Caden Lapsevich. The kid is amazing. He's absolutely, he's on the ball and he can do it all. He can work on the cars. He can drive the cars. And I actually had a fan of Caden's come up to me and asked me why he wasn't going to win the race this weekend on the road course, and I had to explain to him how great the road course guys are, and that Caden's only got a year and a half of driving road courses, or maybe 2 years now, and he will be there soon. But I think Caden's probably the bomb.
For people who don't know, he won the championship last year.
Yeah. Sorry, you still think of Caden as young Caden, but he's not. He's big Caden and champion. He's the real deal.
Yeah, he's a pretty good driver, but he's maybe you don't hear about him as much often, even with that. So he's a great kid. So you got a podium last year at Sunset. What was that like?
Oh, that's really cool. I've driven underrated cars, I guess, and or underfunded cars, I guess, and we've always had to just complete the races and see where we finish. And with CBRT, I got the green light to actually race. Go out there and race the car and have fun, and thinking that I should maybe hang it up soon and retire, which I should do soon anyways. It was great to have a third place finish. That's a win for me and a win for my team, and pretty spectacular. And I'm going to cherish that trophy forever and ever.
Good. Yeah, I remember watching the race. Great race. So you've been driving the Wonder Bread car for a couple of races. What's the reception been like that? Because I know that's definitely getting some attention.
It's been awesome. It's been spectacular. We had to go through legal and all kinds of stuff to get it on the car, and when we got on the car, people went nuts. We had cheering sections at the Toronto Indy. They had full sections cheering for this Ricky Bobby car, and as it was on our car, our own personal car, and it's a little underrated. We call it Frankenstein. It gets all the old parts from the other race cars, and it was a blast. People loved the car. We've had a million pictures, and by Monday morning, social media, we hired a social media company to just track the numbers from the Toronto Indy. We had 3 million hits by Monday morning, and that was spectacular for myself and Wonder and my team.
Yeah, that's great for any team in the series. That's fantastic. Would you want to see Talladega Nights type of throwback night, kind of like we see in NASCAR with like 70s and 80s paint schemes?
I'd love to do that. That's kind of cool, yes. The only problem is it's financially, we got to take our sponsors off the cars and then put, it'd be a little difficult. It'd be kind of cool to do, yes.
All right, that's it for the racing section. We're going to go to Caitlin to talk about firefighting.
So Larry, how did you go about becoming a firefighter?
Ooh, tough question. I guess I saw my neighbor as a firefighter and noticed that it looked like a pretty cool job, and I went to school for 2 years to become a firefighter and tried for many years to get on, and I think after 3 years of trying, I got a job here in the city of Mississauga.
What is your favorite part about being a firefighter?
Favorite part? Being a race car driver, you'd think it would be driving the truck, but I haven't driven the truck in probably 8 years now. It's been quite a while. I think just the rush of not knowing what's around the next corner, or just keeping you on your toes and never knowing what's there.
Now, what is the most challenging part about being one?
Challenging? I guess staying fit. You got to be fit as a firefighter. The equipment we wear when we have all our pack and everything on is close to about 300 pounds. Well, I'm about 180 pounds. Equipment weighs about 300. Staying fit, walking upstairs, that can be pretty taxing on the body.
Sometimes there are fire deaths that can be preventable. What would you say is the most important fire safety message to give to people?
Pretty simple. Keep batteries in your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. Change them every 6 months. Make sure they're not older than around 5 years, and have them all in every level of the house.
You have to be ready to respond in a hurry. How much time does it usually take you to gear up and leave the station?
We try and be out of the station in 90 seconds, right from, as you see me now, to being fully dressed in the truck and truck pulling out hopefully within 90 seconds, and being at any house or medical within 4 minutes in our area.
Now, sometimes you have to save or help someone in a dire situation. How do you deal with the emotional trauma of those?
I guess you've been dealing with it forever, so you kind of just know that you tried your best to save them, and that everything you did was to help them in the situation, and that there's not much you can do after that.
All right, that's it for me.
Racing and firefighting are both risky jobs. How do you manage the risk?
Well, I think if you're trying to be prepared for every situation, be educated, be trained, and take every safety concern that you can, or safety precaution you can, so to minimize all the risks that I kind of do take in both professions.
Sometimes your schedule can get quite busy, leaving the racetrack and coming to the fire station. I know that happened, you were saying, at the Toronto weekend. How hectic is the schedule?
It just seems that this year that every race that we raced in the NASCAR Pinty series seemed to be, just seemed to be on every day that I worked. And it's quite hard to move schedule around because we work 24-hour shifts, and I have a lot of friends that play hockey and winter sports, so we can kind of shift off some exchange some work schedule stuff, but it's been difficult this year.
So I know you were saying earlier on that you haven't driven the fire truck in a while, but you have in the past. How difficult is it to switch from one vehicle to another?
It's pretty good. Most of these trucks are automatic, but we have big, huge tandem axle aerial trucks, and we have these quick little pumpers, actually. Like anything, you just adapt to your surroundings, and it's pretty decent. I've driven trucks forever in my life, and race cars for quite a while now, and it's pretty easy to adapt from my end, I guess.
So is it any extra difficulty driving such a big vehicle at a high rate of speed?
Driving the vehicle, I don't think is not that bad. However, the people around you are. It's amazing how many people don't know to pull over to the right and stop when emergency vehicles are going through. And most of the times, that's not just one emergency vehicle. There's police, there's ambulance, there's us. And if it's a house fire or an apartment fire, we could be sending multiple trucks. And, there could be 10 emergency units coming by, not just pull out after the first vehicle's gone by and take a look around and just make sure it's safe to proceed.
What would you say to someone who would like to be a firefighter, a race car driver, or perhaps both?
Get a good family behind you. Get a great wife or girlfriend and or spouse. Get a family that supports you in both what you do. It's both jobs are very difficult, very taxing, and and both are very rewarding as well. So I recommend it.
All right, Larry Jackson, thank you for speaking with us today and giving us a tour of this lovely facility.
No problem. Thank you very much for coming. And we have a call.
Pumper 117, Squad 106, residential alarm.
You guys can see me get dressed
622
up.
Coastal Court, 622 Coastal Court, MAV 284, Cross Streets, Wilcox Road, Channel 2.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, sorry for that.
One.
Channel 2.
Don't let us get in your way.